How the Dice Fell.
Flint Daniels and the Demon Shield of Syterria. Part 1.
When last we left our fearless adventurers, we had successfully returned on a triumphant mission and only been slightly chewed out, well, fairly chewed out, for avoiding the screensaver. Robert has added a new aspect to the game between missions, sort of as the downtime that our characters do. One of us around the table is randomly selected to ask a question of all the other players. This is to sort of help facilitate some of our character backstory being brought out, because we haven't been having many opportunities during the actual adventures to just sort of, talk about our feelings. And so I think Chumley got randomly selected to ask a question, but Robin was like, I don't know what to ask. I have no questions. And I'd been preparing a question for weeks and weeks. I'd been waiting for my opportunity. So Robin said, okay, you can take my turn. So Pill was the one who was able to have a social gathering with the characters and ask a question. So Pill asked, what are Earth's defenses? If an enemy species was to attack Earth, what defenses do you have? What would you do to defend yourself against an attack? And so, the various, of course, we're having to make this stuff up on the fly. So the various characters mostly didn't know. Some of them were assuming that we had great, powerful defenses. Others were like, I don't know. And I was like, but, surely you have, deep bunkers and things. Where are those deep bunkers located that your leadership would be able to hide in at the very least? And they were like, I don't know. So yes, that was my question. It was coincidence, I assure you, because what happened next was Robert starts his adventure because he's running the next adventure. And we gather for a briefing. We're going to be sent to some remote, horrible jungle planet. They didn't say it was horrible, but I'm sure it's horrible. That is like remote from all the other places we've been sent before. And we're going to go to this jungle planet that's all covered in lush vegetation. And then in the middle of this briefing, as he's telling us all about that, alert sirens and klaxons and stuff start going off. And some guy rushes in, or does he get like a message or something like that?
Yeah, he got like a message, and then I think the picture came on the screen. Yeah, right. He was talking on the phone.
Yeah.
His communicator, whatever it is.
Space phone.
Yeah.
That Earth is under attack. There's an alien fleet attacking Earth. And
And General Anpley came on.
Oh, right. Yes.
And I don't know if many of us know him by his nickname, but none of us know. It didn't come up, I guess, so it may come up next time. And he said, we're under attack. Please grab your weapons from the weapons locker and come out onto the tarmac or whatever it is to help.
Yeah.
And was it Daniels who takes his hand off of his weapon and like, yes, I'll get my weapons from the weapons locker.
I decided that Pill would pick the rocket launcher this time because grenades are not so useful in a defensive situation like this. Is my reasoning. But also, let's just grab rockets. So
on the way to the weapons locker, they're rushing there, and these three lizard saurian type aliens. They meet them in the hallway, and they're all wearing, I think they're all carrying there's two of them.
There's one, at least one has a big wrench. There were two.
They look like mechanics of some kind, and they have wrenches, and they start shouting at us, and then we had to fight them. We had to engage in a
with fisticuffs.
Yeah.
And it sort of was a little bit like they've invaded Earth. They've got wrenches. and like what? Okay.
yeah.
So
Maybe they were coming to sabotage something, but either way, there was a fight ensued. I mean, Chumley was, I mean, as a security officer, did a lot of the fighting. I know Daniels Daniels always rushes into these and somehow manages to always get badly beaten up, even though, I mean, he's not security, so he has some downsides there, but he has advantage on this kind of thing often.
Right.
So it should balance out, but it never seems to. And
John, you've been running for such a long time. I've forgotten a lot of your character. I remember he's sort of Spocky or something.
Sometimes.
He's sometimes Spock. Right.
He's the flex officer.
Yeah.
We have some theories. He's like every time he's he's emulating a different Star Trek character.
Right.
So he's been Worf, he's been Data.
Right. So this time, do we have any speculation?
He's replacing the engineer this time, so presumably one of the engineering types.
The Scotty or the Geordie, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Who's the
yeah,
engineer?
there might be some clues in a few things I can think of that came up, but I mean, he did do a thing. So the captain gave everyone handshakes for doing such a good job or something. And so then he tried to emulate that awkwardly by giving everyone awkward handshakes during the briefing. But
yeah, I'm kind of not a good person to be paying attention to that, because Pill thinks that he's a perfectly ordinary human being.
Right.
yeah, he and Pill also, I mean, he told Pill that he really is fascinated by human customs, but he doesn't often understand them. So he's sort of like he's trying to commiserate with Pill. But
yeah,
in any case, I know that Daniels took a beating. The alien hit him with a wrench, bashed him down. It was like had his foot on his chest. Then he turned around and smashed Yoon in the face with the wrench, and before Chumley could eliminate them. So those two took some beating. I know Daniels has a black eye, which will impact his diplomacy. But they beat up and they knocked out and tied up the. I don't know. They decided they didn't have time to tie them up.
yeah.
They knocked out those guys and they're like, "Hey, first job, let's make sure that we don't all die. Then we'll come back and see if we can, if they're still here." So they rushed to the weapons locker, got their weapons, and ran out onto the. I don't know. I was calling it the tarmac. I don't know what you call it, but like the open area in front of the academy. And the whole sky is being lit up by like ships blowing up and bombardment from orbit and all kinds of stuff. Everything is on fire and exploding, and they see the dormitories explode, which is where all their stuff is. So it's not good.
Yeah, Chumley was like, "My butler." But yeah, it was a very expensive cinematic.
Yeah.
And so we had a combat. The tarmac was basically just a big grid of zones, some with cover, some with not, but you could move around pretty freely. We got to moving. Let's see, how did it go?
There was a lot of them, and so that made it pretty tough. Like they were just hammering us, and we started in no cover, and we quickly, most of us rushed out of cover, but Daniels didn't, and so he just got blasted,
pounded
right away. They were pretty tough. Like there was the one guy who had so many shields, and I remember I did like I have my special ability, two-fisted punch, that takes down their shields. No, it's like the Star Trek punch. I
still like this one.
it takes down their shields for a round, but even that wasn't enough to topple that guy. We were really struggling. Like I think we took down one guy, and Daniels went down completely, and we were in a bad way. Unfortunately,
a DMPC showed up. General Buford Ampele. That's Ampele's uncle. And therefore the brother-in-law of Hitler.
Because there was a secret revealed about Ampele being
Hitler's daughter. Yes,
a genetic Hitler.
It's a clone.
It's a clone of Hitler.
Yes,
so she's biologically his daughter.
Yeah.
Well,
the reincarnated Hitler.
Yeah, and the real one as well.
Wait,
genetically speaking, it's
genetically speaking.
Yes, it's as if the real Hitler had a daughter.
Same nature, different nurture. That was the experiment.
Yep.
Okay. So they got it all.
Yeah,
I guess so. From the secret jar with his brain and the bunker.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Anyway, so Buford Ampele, or as his nickname is, Beef Manpile.
Right.
He shows up, and he's got better equipment than PCs are allowed to have.
Of course.
So yeah, he helped out a bit, but ultimately, the main reason we survived is because the goal was not actually to defeat all these guys; it was to get to our ship.
Sure.
I think we just basically ran. There were a bunch that were still left behind us, and we just ran past them.
Yeah, well, he did say, I have a mission for you. We need to get over to that ship. So just follow me. And so he was going away. And I mean, I think he helped more than a bit, because he tanked a lot of damage, and he also
that too, yeah.
He took out a few guys just with Robert would be like, all right, he targeted this guy this round. He's dead. And those are people that had massive hit points and were very challenging. So
I think the biggest help he did though was just by tanking. He absorbed a lot of shots.
Yeah.
But yeah, we managed to get through. Everyone stayed up for the thing to get through. I think someone got knocked down. Who was it?
Daniel's got knocked down, but Yoon has battlefield medic now, so she can bring him back up. One thing that I'm remembering is there was that one guy with the spear who is
yes, there was a guy with a spear, and I was like, okay, first there were people with wrenches attacking Earth, now there's a guy with a spear attacking Earth. He's attacking it with a spear.
This reminds me of that Lower Decks episode where they had like the crystal spears and like crystal everything, and they like swarmed the ship.
Yeah. So yeah, Pill was like mocking this guy, and so this guy was like trying to stab Pill with the spear, just to sort of.
And I mean, we were under fire from his colleagues who had machine guns and whatever, laser rifles, but he's poking with a spear, and Pill was taunting him. But then in the end, he kind of got his revenge, because there was this one round where it actually, one of the other Saurians, actually they had a name, but I don't remember what they were. They were like the Ilg or something, but it wasn't the Ilg.
Yeah,
it started with an I. But anyway,
it started with an I. I can't remember.
The aliens. One of them shot a rocket launcher at Pill, and it did enough damage to get through his shields. And the spear guy hit him the same turn, and so it just all stacks, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, haha, the spear guy got you. But then we realized that the rocket launcher damage also damages the spear guy, because he's in the same round, and it was enough to kill him. So we realized it just blew him up, and the explosion propelled him forward, and his spear actually stuck into Pill, because he was dead from the rocket explosion.
Yeah. So spear guy, I don't know whether you'd call that got the last laugh. I don't think so. A Pyrrhic last laugh, perhaps.
Yeah.
But anyway, we managed to get to the ship. Daniels took some damage. I don't know if that added to his black eye or not, but
no, we didn't have a rule for it, but we just said, if you don't end up the combat down, you don't get a consequence. So that's fine.
All right. So yeah, we were a little bit banged up, but we made it to the ship all right. And then Buford gave us our mission. he was like, all right, so obviously, Earth's under attack and our defenses are weak. We need to bolster Earth's defenses. Fortunately, one of our other crews that had gone out there has discovered a sort of a mining asteroid base place, or it was an asteroid that was like
it's a trading post. And I should say, I don't think there are any other crews doing exploring, but it's a scanning ship.
Okay.
A scanning ship has scanned it, so it knows it's there.
So there's this trading outpost out there, and it's got alien tech for sale. So we're going to give you 10 million galactic credits. Don't ask where we got it from.
But someone was like, where are they good for? And they're like, well, I don't remember the name of this asteroid. We'll call it Oogle 4. I should know, but I don't know. Where are they good for? Well, they can be used on Oogle 4. And someone's like, okay, so they're useful on Oogle 4 and Earth. No, they're not accepted on Earth. So we don't know how useful these galactic credits are, or what it's about, because we haven't come across any galactic civilizations that would use such things. So
but somehow Earth Corporation Incorporated has managed to get a hold of 10 million galactic credits.
I have a feeling they may have forged them. Hopefully this doesn't come back to bite us.
Yeah.
Like, we could use our technology to forge their primitive galactic civilizations technology. So
we're supposed to go there.
I guess it could be. We could have maybe the Ahiri are related to them, because that's a galactic civilization that we've had contact.
I mean, different civilizations could prioritize different sorts of technology, right? Like one civilization, just has no financial fraud in it, so their currency is incredibly fraudable. And then you get the humans on it, and they're like, woo, and I can't do high pitches. Woohoo.
So
the humans are basically the Ferengi of the setting.
I think so.
So we're supposed to go there, and we're supposed to buy 100 units of obtainium, which is a magical sci-fi material that Corporation Incorporated will be able to use to build planetary armor. Not planetary shields, planetary armor.
It's interesting. He called it, we're going to build a suit of armor that's going to cover the whole world. But upon further questioning, it sounds like it's probably shields, because he's talking about bases that generate it. But still,
I really hope that it's actual physical plates of metal. There's this big.
I like that it's obtainium instead of unobtainium.
Yeah. Well, we can't find unobtainium. It's right in the name. You can't get it. But anyway, so that's our mission. And we managed to get in the ship, and I don't think we did the actual flight, did we?
No, that's where we had to leave off. The one thing we did determine is I think we figured that Chumley's butler would probably survive. He probably wasn't destroyed with the dormitory, but he's probably not on this ship. So Chumley is going to have to go without his butler for this mission, which means he has no way of putting his boots on. I guess someone will have to help him.
Yep.
Oh yes, that reminds me of something related to Hawking. We were talking. There was a long discussion with our characters being annoying with Beef Manpile, and one of the discussions was, okay, what if we come back and Earth is just destroyed? And then we were like, well, we'll have to repopulate the Earth. And one of the things Hawking said was, well, if it comes to it, I should let you know that I am fully functional.
And of course, when we said, okay, we'll have to repopulate the Earth, we all turned to Yoon, because Yoon is the only female character currently in the party.
Yes, because Sabine is off this mission because Robert is GMing, right? So it's really but
and then I think the question also came up, the sort of role-playing question thing. I can't remember who it was. Someone had a question about birthdays.
That was the question, the role-playing question at the beginning. It was just what were you doing for your 21st birthday or 22nd birthday? 23rd birthday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Your 20 earliest birthday. 23rd, we'll say.
Yes.
that.
And so Pill initially was confused and said, I thought we only had one birthday. You're only born once, right?
Right. Yeah.
Um,
How is this? You've been born 23 times?
yeah,
This is insane.
and so yeah, so they clarified, you get a birthday every time you go around the sun. Like, yeah, oh, okay. I have the typical number of birthdays that a human has. I have had that many birthdays.
Right.
And so Chumley was like, 50? And so Pill was like, oh, yes, I have had 50 birthdays.
We did actually end up Hawking tried to do a little bit of wheedling information out of Pill by asking about, because I think when he first said about how many times have you gone around the sun or something,
yeah,
he was confused by that, and so that led into a discussion of ideas for, well, I don't know, you can describe it, but
basically it was like not all planets go around suns,
Right.
And so that confused the other players a little bit, and so they're like, what do you mean by that? It's like, rogue planets that have gone away from their suns and are drifting in interstellar space. And
Dyson spheres.
What was that?
Dyson spheres.
I didn't mention that. I mentioned rogue planets, because we were talking about planets going around suns.
Sure.
And
a sphere made out of vacuums, that would suck. I guess it's sort of like a black hole.
Yeah. So Daniels hopped onto that and said, oh, rogue planets, that sounds like, it would be an excellent place for a civilization that was hiding. And Pill was immediately like, oh, no, it wouldn't be, because it's impossible for life to survive on a rogue planet. It's impossible. There's no civilization that could survive on a rogue planet in interstellar space. Pill was very categorical about that, and so so Daniels finally was like, all right, no civilizations can survive on a planet in interstellar space. So Pill was like, all right, pulled the wool over his eyes.